Welcome back to Talk About It in English. I am Sarah, and I am so happy you are here today. We have a very special episode planned for you. Usually on this channel, we talk about the happy parts of life. We talk about your hobbies, your weekend plans, and your dreams. But today, we need to be honest. Life is not always perfect, especially when you travel.
That is so true, Sarah. Hello, everyone. I am Mark. And yes, today we are getting real. You know, I watched a video last week about staying at a hotel. It was a beautiful video. The family walked in, they smiled at the receptionist, they got a room with a sea view, and they ate a delicious breakfast. It looked perfect.
I saw that video too, Mark. It was great for learning the basics. But let me ask you a question. When was the last time you had a completely perfect hotel stay? No problems, no noise, everything working perfectly?
Honestly, almost never. There is always something. Maybe the air conditioning is too loud, maybe the pillow smells a little strange, or, and this is the worst one, the key card stops working every time I try to open my door.
Exactly. And that is why we are making this video today. Because when things go wrong, you need English that works. If you are an A2 or B1 learner, you might feel scared to complain. You might think, I don't want to be rude. I don't want the receptionist to be angry with me. So what do? You suffer in silence. You sleep in a hot room. You take a cold shower just because you are afraid to speak up.
I have definitely done that. I remember once in London, my shower had no hot water. It was freezing, but I was too nervous to call the front desk. I didn't know the right words. I thought if I called them, I would have to shout or be angry to get attention.
That is the biggest myth, Mark. You do not need to shout. You do not need to be angry. In fact, if you shout in English, you will probably get worse service. The secret to handling hotel disasters is not anger. It is politeness. It is using specific, soft phrases that make the staff want to help you. Today, we are going to teach you how to complain like a native speaker. We are going to turn you from a silent sufferer into a confident problem solver.
I love that. A confident problem solver. So Sarah, where do we start? Imagine I am at the front desk. I am tired. I just flew for 10 hours. I get to my room and the bed has not been made. There are dirty towels on the floor. I am furious. I want to go downstairs and say, "Bad room, dirty, give me a new one."
Okay, Mark, stop right there. I can feel your frustration. But if you say, "Bad room, dirty," you sound aggressive. The receptionist will immediately become defensive. They will put up a wall. We need to soften your language. This is the first and most important lesson for today. We call it the softener.
The softener? Like fabric softener for my clothes?
Exactly like that. You want to make your hard complaint feel soft and smooth. In English, when we have bad news or a complaint, we almost never start with the problem directly. We start with a phrase that warns the listener that something negative is coming. The most common phrase, and the one I want everyone to learn today, is "I'm afraid."
Wait, I'm afraid? But Sarah, I'm not scared. I'm not frightened of the receptionist. Why would I say I am afraid?
That is a great question. This confuses so many learners. In this context, "I'm afraid" does not mean I am scared. It is a polite way of saying, I am sorry to tell you this, but unfortunately. It signals that you are about to say something that might be a problem. It shows you are a polite person. So instead of saying, "The room is dirty," you say, "I'm afraid the room hasn't been cleaned."
Oh, I see. It changes the tone completely. "The room is dirty" sounds like an attack. "I'm afraid the room hasn't been cleaned" sounds like a polite observation.
Precisely. It takes the blame away from the person you are talking to. Let's try another one. Mark, imagine your key card isn't working. How would you say that directly?
I would say, "My key doesn't work."
Okay, now add the softener. Put "I'm afraid" at the beginning.
"I'm afraid my key doesn't work."
Much better. But we can make it even better. Let's add a second softener. This one is, "There seems to be a problem with."
There seems to be a problem with? That is a long phrase. Can we break that down?
Of course. Seems means it looks like or appears to be. When you say there is a problem, it is a fact. It is strong. When you say there seems to be a problem, you are leaving space for it to be a mistake or a misunderstanding. It is very gentle. So let's combine them. Listen to this. Excuse me, I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with my keycard.
Wow, that sounds so professional. Excuse me, I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with my keycard. It feels good to say. It feels like I am in control.
You are in control. You are controlling the emotional temperature of the conversation. You are keeping it cool. Let's practice this right now. Listeners, I want you to shadow us. I will give you a problem, and I want you to use the phrase, "Excuse me, I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with," and then add the item. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Okay. The problem is the air conditioning.
Excuse me, I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with the air conditioning.
Good. Next problem, the Wi-Fi.
Excuse me, I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with the Wi-Fi.
One more. The problem is the hot water.
Excuse me, I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with the hot water.
Excellent. Listeners, did you say it out loud? If not, pause the video and try it again. This phrase is your golden key. Keep it in your pocket. Whenever something goes wrong, start with, "I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with."
Okay, Sarah, I have the opener. I can start the conversation politely. But now I need to explain the details. If I say there is a problem with the shower, the receptionist will ask, "What is the problem?" I need the vocabulary to describe the disaster.
You are absolutely right. Problem is too general. We need to be specific. Let's look at the 3 most common categories of hotel disasters: water, air, and noise. Let's start with water. Mark, what can go wrong in a bathroom?
Well, the most common one is the temperature. The water is freezing cold, or maybe it is boiling hot and won't cool down.
Right. So you can say, the shower is not getting hot, or simply, there is no hot water. But what if the water isn't going down the drain? You are taking a shower, and suddenly you are standing in a pool of water up to your ankles.
That is gross. I hate when that happens. The word for that is clogged, right? C-L-O-G-G-E-D?
Yes, clogged is the perfect word. The drain is clogged, or the sink is clogged. But if you forget the word clogged, you can say, the water isn't going down. It is simple, clearer, and natural. I'm afraid the shower is clogged, or I'm afraid the water isn't going down.
What about the toilet? That is the most embarrassing one. If the toilet, doesn't take the water away.
It happens. We are all adults here. If the toilet is clogged, you can say, the toilet isn't flushing. To flush is the action of sending the water down. The toilet won't flush. This is an emergency, so you need to know this phrase. Excuse me, I'm afraid the toilet won't flush.
Okay, got it. Clogged, not going down, and won't flush. What about air? I hate sleeping in a hot room.
Air conditioning, or AC, is a major source of complaints. The most useful word here is stuck. If you try to change the temperature but the buttons do not work, the controls are stuck.
The AC is stuck on high, or the thermostat is stuck.
Exactly. Or you can say, it's not cooling. Sometimes the machine makes a loud noise. You can say, the AC is making a funny noise. In English, funny doesn't always mean haha funny. It can mean strange or weird. It's making a funny noise.
Making a funny noise. I like that. It sounds very natural. Okay, so we have water and air. What about the third category, noise? This is the one that makes me the most angry, when the people in the next room are having a party at 2 a.m.
This is tricky, Mark, because now you are complaining about other people, not a machine. You have to be careful not to sound like you are attacking the other guests. Again, we use our softeners. Do not say, the people next door are too loud.
What should I say instead?
Focus on your experience, not their action. Say, it is a bit noisy in my room. Or be specific about the location. I can hear a lot of noise from the room next door.
I can hear a lot of noise. That is a good fact. You are reporting what you hear. You are not calling the neighbors bad people.
Yes, and if the noise is coming from the street, maybe traffic or construction, you can say, the room is facing the street, and it's quite loud. Facing means looking towards. My room is facing the street.
Okay, this is great. I feel like I have a toolbox now. I have my opener, I'm afraid there seems to be a problem, and I have my specific words, clogged, won't flush, stuck, making a funny noise, facing the street. But Sarah, describing the problem is only half of the battle. The goal is to get it fixed. I don't just want to tell the receptionist about my clogged shower. I want a working shower.
That is the outcome. We are result-oriented here. You need to make a request. And just like the complaint, the request needs to be polite but firm. Many learners use the imperative form. They say, "Fix it, please," or "Send someone now." Even with please, this can sound very bossy.
I definitely sound bossy when I am tired. Please fix it sounds okay in my head, but I guess to a native speaker, it sounds like an order.
It does sound like an order. To sound polite, we use question forms politely. We use could you or would it be possible? Let's look at the two levels of solutions. Level 1 is a fix. You want someone to come to the room and repair the item.
Okay, so for the clogged shower, I want a plumber or maintenance.
Right. So the phrase is, could you send someone up to take a look?
Could you send someone up to take a look? That flows really well. To take a look is softer than to fix it.
Yes. To take a look implies they will investigate. It is very natural. Could you send someone up to take a look at the AC? Could you send someone up to take a look at the TV?
And what if I am not in the room? Maybe I am going out for dinner.
Then you can say, could you have someone check it while I'm out?
Could you have someone check it while I'm out? Perfect. Now what about level 2, the nuclear option? The problem is too big to fix. The neighbors are partying or the room smells terrible. I don't want a repair, I want a new room.
This is the big request. You're asking the hotel to lose money or change their inventory. So you must be very polite phrases using would it be possible. The phrase is, would it be possible to move to a different room?
Would it be possible to move to a different room? That is long, but it is powerful.
It is very powerful. It gives the receptionist the power to say yes rather than demanding it. Let's try another variation. Do you have any other rooms available?
Do you have any other rooms available? That is good. It opens a negotiation. What if they say no?
If they say no, I'm afraid we are fully booked, then you have to accept the fix. But often, if you ask politely using would it be possible, they will try to help you. They might even upgrade you because you were so nice about the problem.
That is the dream. Complaining nicely and getting a sweet. I love it. Okay, Sarah, we have covered a lot of pieces. We have the opener, the vocabulary, and the solution request. I think we need to put it all together. I want to hear what this sounds like in a real conversation.
I agree. Let's do a simulation. I will be the receptionist, you will be the guest. Let's do 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, the technical failure. You are in your room, you just arrived, and the Wi-Fi is not connecting. You need to work, so this is urgent. You call the front desk. Okay, I am dialing. Ring, ring.
Front desk, this is Sarah speaking. How can I help you? Hi, Sarah. This is Mark in room 204. I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with the Wi-Fi.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that, Mark. What seems to be the issue?
Well, it connects, but there is no internet access. It seems to be stuck. I have some work to do, so it's quite urgent.
I understand.
Could you send someone up to take a look, or maybe reset the router?
Of course. I will ask our technician to come up to room 204 immediately.
Thank you very much.
And cut. That was perfect, Mark. You were calm, clear, and polite. You used I'm afraid, there seems to be, and could you send someone up?
It felt easy. I didn't feel stressed because I knew the script.
That is the power of patterns. When you have the pattern, you don't need to panic. Let's try scenario 2. This is the harder one, the human problem. It's 11 p.m., you are trying to sleep, but the room next to you has the TV on very loud. You are calling down. Remember, do not attack the neighbors.
Okay, ring ring.
Front desk, Sarah speaking.
Hi, Sarah. This is Mark in 204. Sorry to call so late, but I'm afraid I'm having trouble sleeping.
Oh no, what is the matter?
Well, I can hear the TV from the room next door. It is quite loud.
I see. I apologize for that. Would it be possible to ask them to turn it down a little?
Certainly, sir. I will call their room right now and ask them to lower the volume. Thank you. I would appreciate that.
Great job. You noticed something very clever there, Mark. You said, sorry to call so late. That is another great softener. It shows you respect their time, even though it is their job to answer. And then you said, would it be possible to ask them? You didn't say, tell them to shut up.
I wanted to say tell them to shut up, but I know that wouldn't help. Would it be possible to ask them is much better.
Exactly. Listeners, did you hear the difference? Mark was not weak. He got what he wanted, but he was diplomatic. This is the level of English that takes you from a beginner to a confident speaker. It is not just about grammar. It is about social intelligence in English.
And you know what? This works everywhere, not just in hotels. If you are at a restaurant and your food is cold, you can use the same structure. Excuse me, I'm afraid there seems to be a problem with my soup. It's not hot. Could you heat it up?
Yes, it is a universal formula for complaining politely. Step 1, softener, I'm afraid. Step 2, the problem, there seems to be. Step 3, the request, could you? If you master these 3 steps, you can handle almost any problem in an English-speaking country.
Before we finish, Sarah, I have one more question. What happens if I do all of this? I am polite, I use the softeners, I ask nicely, and they still don't fix it. What if the receptionist is rude or says no?
That is a tough situation. Sometimes, despite your best English, the service is just bad. If that happens, you have one final phrase. You can say, I understand. Is there a manager I could speak to?
Is there a manager I could speak to? That is the serious face phrase.
It is. Use it carefully. But notice we still use could. Is there a manager I could speak to? We remain polite until the very end. Getting angry rarely helps. Staying calm and escalating to a manager is the professional way to handle it.
That is great advice. Stay calm, stay polite, stay in control.
We have covered a lot of ground today. We talked about clogging showers, stuck ACs, loud neighbors, and how to fix them all. I hope you feel ready for your next trip. You don't have to fear the at-the-hotel conversation anymore.
And hey, if you're planning a trip soon, don't just wait for problems to happen. You can actually use English to prevent problems and get the best room before you even check in.
That is right. Today we talked about fixing disasters. But in our next video, we are going to talk about getting upgrades. How to ask for a high floor, a sea view, or a late checkout without paying extra. If you want to travel like a VIP, you need to watch that one.
So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss it. Click that button right now. We are helping you talk about your real life, one topic at a time.
Thank you so much for listening and practicing with us today. Remember, save these phrases in your phone. I'm afraid. There seems to be. Could you? Practice them in the shower. Practice them in the car. Get them into your muscle memory.
Thanks, everyone. See you in the next episode.
Bye for now.
Safe travels.